Well, the scenes from Washington, D.C. tomorrow will resemble something out of, Eastern Europe or the Middle East. More troops than members of the public, political violence, who knows what could happen. With that kind of instability, you can only imagine how unstable Americans feel. But they're not the only nation with a challenge. Australia is about to roll out a vaccine. That in itself, at this early stage, is causing uncertainty and alarm as well. So how do you convince a group of Americans, that many millions of people, to relax, calm, the next 4 years will go well? And how do you convince the fragile Australians to take this jab? I'm joined now by psychiatrist Dr. Tanveer Ahmed. Tanveer, Happy New Year to you, by the way.
You too. Happy New Year, Chris.
OK, I think about tomorrow's inauguration and I think how fearful people will be if they see they cross to a city and there's violence, and they cross to another city and there are 12,000 National Guards in a bunch trying to stop a protest. How does a president begin to heal that kind of instability?
It's going to have a real militaristic feel tomorrow. Only weeks ago you had Vikings storm the Capitol. Look, Joe Biden has to be the therapeutic president. It's less about facts, it's about tone, it's about gestures. And the other thing he has to protect from, there's going to be a lot of people on his side out for revenge, because there's so much resentment on both sides.
Yes.
So he's going to have to really temper that aspect of his supporters. He's already given those types of signals, so you'll need to continue there. But it won't be easy. The divisions have genuine roots, in American society. There's so many gaps, whether it's money-related or, social attitudes. But that'll have to come later. Tomorrow, it's all going to have to be about tone, gestures. It is going to be a bit about feelings.
OK, what about those extreme supporters of Donald Trump who are willing to storm the Capitol building? They're going to be pent up with anger. They won't be able to get anywhere near the iconic buildings. What's their next year look like without their hero at the helm?
Look, on one level, some of them should be punished, really setting a limit that, look, OK, you can have your ideas and you can protest, but there's limits to that. You can't storm the Capitol. We can't have complete chaos. But at the same time, there's genuine angst, there's genuine resentments that he's going to have to tap into, that he has to first acknowledge. He say, look, there's a lot of you that our system is not working for. So that's a bit of a gesture. He doesn't have to give out facts and we're going to fix this, we're going to do that. But he has to set out that tone is, I acknowledge it. The way it's happening, the way you're playing it out now, it may not be the right way. I'm going to try and bring you in the tent. It won't be easy to do because there'll be a lot of people on his side not wanting that at all.
Yeah. OK, the vaccine in Australia, I'm hearing from a lot of people, I've got to be frank here, that tell me that they're unlikely to take it. People that I thought would take it, and I intend to take it, but because it's happened so quickly, there's reticence. How does the government go about convincing those people to get the jab?
Well, Chris, to be honest, the two themes actually overlap. And they're both about it. We have this idea that facts are going to convince people. They often don't in these settings because people are often fixed. And you're right, barely a year ago, at the height of coronavirus, most people in Australia wanted the vaccine. But that's where I think there's a lot more fear around. Whereas now, very few people have had cases here. The other reason, when we look at vaccine psychology, the big motivators, one, children. So when it's related to kids, people are much more motivated.
But it's not.
But this ain't related to kids so much. I don't think people are filled with fear in the same way they might be in other parts of the world. I'll tell you what research has worked. Simplicity, simple reminders. One study in America showed if the employer asked his employees, what date are you having it, mate? Just that alone increased retention by 5%. You've just got to make it dead easy. I've got to be able to turn up to 7-Eleven or the post office, wherever, and get it.
So
it has to be.
It's advertising that says this is how you go and get the jab.
Exactly.
Other than saying this is why you should get the jab.
That won't work.
Right.
The education side won't work. But having said that, where it can work is provider recommendation. By that, your GP, some of these key authority figures. And even people with the worst conspiracy theories, they will often have some sort of relationship with their GP. And most people don't even know what a vaccine is in terms of how it works, etc. And fair enough, it's complicated.
Well, the last time they took one was when they were
kids,
or
yeah.
3.
And Mum took them in,
yes,
right?
Exactly, yeah.
So that's where, and I've got sympathy for that. It's complicated.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of that needs to come from the GP side.
Okay.
But telling people, you're naughty, that ain't going to work.
No, don't do that, all right? I'll look for that advertising campaign because politicians get this wrong. Tanveer, thank you very much.
Pleasure, mate.
I've run